You've been doing Soulfly tours. You just finished a second one up with our other hermano, El Mexicano, Dino Cáceres, and Max Cavalera on one stage together, man. People must have been freaking out, Max, when Dino was on that Soulfly tours with you.
Yeah, I mean that's the Brazilian Mexican connection that nobody can break up. That's like, we bring all the forces of Brazil and Mexico together. No, Dino is a badass. He's a veteran. He's a brother. I know him for so many years, and when I needed somebody to step in on that situation for the first Soulfly tour, he came in with all that, man, all that knowledge,
Okay,
and
I
that
needed to
crunchy
unmute the mic. I
sound,
knew there was
and
something
the
I needed to do.
attitude
Now,
of
can you
let's
hear
have
me
a
now?
good
Okay.
time, man. Let's this is
Unmuting the
what we
mic is
do.
pretty important.
Metal is our life. And
Just throwing that
it
out
was
there.
so cool. It was refreshing getting somebody
We're
like
here.
that in the group
I'm
with
checking
that
the
kind of
YouTube stream
mentality
here.
and
It looks
attitude.
like we'll just see how that looks. I'm checking the YouTube stream to make sure that it's not buffering horribly or anything. Anna says that we've got some delay on the stream, but I think it looks okay. All right, we got the mic on. We got the. Looks like the buffer's okay, at least as far as YouTube is concerned on my end. So I think we'll go ahead and get started. So welcome to Third Eye Heavy Collector's Corner. I'm Dr. Johnny Fever from WKRP, and this is our venerable news director over here, Les Nessman. Say hello to everybody, Les.
Why do I have to be Les?
Because you look like Les.
I don't even have a bandage on. For people who saw the show, they'll get that.
Yeah, I forgot. We should have got you one of the Band-Aids for your glasses. All right, I'm Sid, and this is my dad, Jake, here. Those are our real names anyway.
Yeah.
I guess I haven't actually figured out yet if he's my dad or my uncle. One of the two, I think, though. Looks like he could be anyway. All right, so I am a student in media studies at Iowa Western Community College, and Jake is also in the media studies radio program. We're a couple of the radio kids here, going to graduate next month, and this is my stream for broadcasting and streaming online.
And the only two metalheads, we're pretty sure, in the whole media.
The whole school?
Yeah, maybe the whole fucking school, maybe.
At least at this
can
point.
I swear on here? I don't think I've sworn before. Oh, well,
I think so.
just did.
So anyway, this is Third Eye Heavy Collector's Corner. Typically, I like to keep the focus on box sets that bands release, and we do a couple other special things as well. I've got a little cool thing to show off today that's was a promo item. And so what's cool about box sets, though? Well, if you're really into a band, you can get a box set that they put out. You get some live versions of tracks, some unreleased tracks, special artwork, liner notes, limited editions, and sometimes the live versions are really cool because bands will do extended jams, especially like the old southern rock bands and stuff like that if you're into guitar-based music. And so that is why we were here, or why we are here today, and we are talking about some stuff that I have from Sepultura and Soulfly. So I will give you a little introduction here in just a second. And what else we got? Am I forgetting anything so far?
I don't know what all you got planned. So he said he's got a joke of the day, so he's gonna give that one out.
Okay, here's one for you.
I'm supposedly the dad, but he's the one with the dad jokes. So I don't know how that works out, but all right.
What is New Orleans noted for?
I don't know. What is New Orleans noted for, Sid?
It's the birthplace of the Brews. Get it?
Your daughter's embarrassed.
Do you get it though?
Yeah, no,
Okay.
I'm buying what you're selling there, so I'm just returning it.
I'm trying to learn how to become a comedian, and Jake's studying to be my straight man here, so we're still working out the
Straight man.
the details of all that. Yeah, I think maybe, well, Jake's probably knows more jokes. He probably tells them better too. But I don't know. We'll have to talk about that. Maybe I'll be the straight man since my brain works a little slower than yours. Anyway, that's the monologue. Let's get to box set news here and see what's coming up. Got something really cool to tell you about. So in box set news today we have some news about Black Sabbath. Now,
Yes, I had no idea about this. By the way, this is the first time hearing it, so I want to hear this.
if you don't know anything about Black Sabbath, then you probably don't know anything about heavy metal or the history of it, because you probably like a different genre of music altogether. That's all I'm saying. So, but they formed in 1968. They're probably, maybe even one of the first few bands to be called heavy metal. I remember reading a book, and I think the first band to actually be called heavy metal was the MC5, because they came out with Kick Out the Jams, and that was like, time-wise, somebody said was, but that wasn't like 65 or something, was it?
Another band that's, kind of, I don't know if they were actually called that, but some people that say were Blue Cheer because their concerts were so loud.
Yeah, Blue Cheer.
There's a few, but Sabbath is the band that everyone kind of agrees is the first metal band.
Well, they got together in 1968, which was last century, I concede, but it was 1 year before I was born, and 5 years after Jake was born.
I'm younger than that.
Yeah, you don't have the gray hair for it. That one fell flat. Anyway, so they, Ozzy Osbourne was in the band, and anyway, their debut album came out in '70. Their second album, Paranoid, came out, I think, in the same year. As a matter of fact, bands used to release albums a lot more often back then. Osbourne departed in '79.
Yeah.
Huh?
Oh, I was gonna say, yeah, like one every year, sometimes two every year.
Yeah, Kiss was another band that put out like 2 albums in 1 year a couple times. So now, I actually didn't know this before I was doing the research for this show, but and I don't know why I didn't know this. I should have. I mean, I know Sharon was Ozzy's manager and all that, but she was actually I think she was Black Sabbath's tour manager or something like that. And when Ozzy left, she suggested to have Ronnie James Dio try out for the band in 1979, and they liked him, and they put out Heaven and Hell, the first album with Dio, in 1980. So their sound changed a little bit there, and then they put out Mob Rules in 1981, another great album.
Better of the two. Controversial opinion, but
well,
I don't
think
care.
Heaven and Hell. I like Children of the Sea off Heaven and Hell, and there's also another one on there I can't remember.
Sign of the Southern Cross. That's all I have to say.
That's on Mob Rules, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Sign of the Southern Cross and the title track, Mob Rules. Oh, yeah, I can't compete.
All right.
Go on.
Air guitar. All right, so they put out then they did a live album, and it was called Live Evil, which, if you are paying attention, is one of those word things, like live is evil spelled backwards, or evil is spelled live backwards. I knew you needed to know that. But anyway, Dio was on vocals. That was in January of '83. They put that out. It was the first official live album. There was like a bootleg one that came out before with Ozzy back when he was in the band, but it wasn't an official release.
Oh, the Live at Last album.
Yeah.
It sounds terrible.
So anyway, this live album had originally contained tracks from shows in Seattle, San Antonio, and Dallas on the Mob Rules tour. And Tony Iommi said about the shows at this time, the band's live shows during this period were featured lots of pyro with fire and bombs, and they were playing the Hammersmith Odeon, which is in England, and the bombs had been tested when the show was going on, one of the bombs went off and blew a 2-foot wide hole in the floor on his side, and said if he had been standing there, he would have been blown up. So there was some crazy stuff going on in that tour. The band actually had to cancel their Madison Square Garden show when the bombs for the stage show blew out of the tubes during the first note of the song War Pigs. So they couldn't play anymore because the tubes were blowing out in the amps. So that was pretty crazy. And it was actually at this time, after the tour, during the mixing of the album, that Vinny Appice, the drummer, and Ronnie James Dio, the singer, left. Now, according to Tony Iommi, Ronnie wanted to take more control of the band. He was being very bossy and kind of rude. Ronnie said that there was a misunderstanding as a result of guitarist Tony Iommi's drug abuse. And he said that Iommi and bassist Geezer Butler were using cocaine. And
trying to go the Clapton there.
Yeah, I don't know what's wrong with that. But so Dio left in '82. Mob Rules came out, and then Dio, of course, went on to have his own band, Dio, with albums like Holy Diver, Rainbow, or Holy Diver, which had Rainbow in the Dark and the Holy Diver singles on it. Now, this box set, I'm rambling here. We finally get to the box set, but the box set is a 40th anniversary reissue of the Live Evil album from the Mob Rules tour, and I will put up a little picture of that so you can see what it looks like. Oh, here, I'll just, there we go. Maybe I'll make it a little bigger.
That's a great album cover too.
I'm messing it up.
Kind of all the songs incorporated in the artwork.
There. So it's got a replica hardback concert book, concert tour program, 40 pages of photos, artwork, and liner notes, a 82 Mob Rules tour replica colored poster, and it's a 4 CD version or 4 LPs. Now this is the part I don't understand. And I tried to research it and I couldn't figure anything out. But it's got the original album remastered, and then it's got all the same material in a remix. So I'm not sure how you remix a live album, but that's what it says. The guy that did the remastering of the original one. So you end up basically, if you have the original album, then if you get this one, then you've got a remastered version of it and a remixed one. So we'll have to wait and see, I guess, what the remix, quote unquote, is supposed to be. But this is coming out in June 2023. So.
Not too far off.
And so if you're a Black Sabbath fan, especially a Dio fan, then maybe that's something you want to look into. And that is it for box set news for today.
Sabbath is all you need, anyways.
Yeah, these days. If you have any box sets that you're interested in that are coming out pretty soon, you would like us to mention, just let us know in the comments. And in the meantime, we will move on to talking about our featured artists for today.
So what is the featured artist? Is it Sepultura? It's really Max. Really is the full artist that we're really talking about, is it not?
Well, and a lot of that's because he was the one that left Sepultura, formed Soulfly, so now Soulfly is kind of centered around him, and it's pretty much his vision of that band. And seeing as how he was a founding member of Sepultura, and their material took a different direction after he left the band, a couple albums after he left the band. Yeah, he's sort of the focal point of that whole couple of bands, I guess.
I will say it, you heard it here first, because I have never told this to anyone. Sid, I'm telling you, we're good friends. I've never listened to any Sepultura past Max. I have no idea what it sounds like.
Well,
I've heard so much awful things that I've heard that the new album is kind of back to people liking them, but I've heard nothing but people say, nothing but Max. It's all bad, buddy. I haven't heard it, so. But when you hear that much bad sort of reactions,
trying to think. Against, I think, was the first album that they did with Derek Green after Max left. And actually, that one, let's see, it was Against, and then Nation, I think, was the other one. Let me look it up real quick. But on Against, so one of the reasons, well, a lot of the reason I'm a big fan of the Roots album is because of the percussive aspect of it. So they did a lot of stuff with, they featured the drums, like metal, let's face it, you know, in most bands, most metal bands, 90% of it, the drummer, there's a lot of good drummers, but they're there to keep the beat. Sometimes you get a drum solo, but nobody's ever really made percussion a focal point of an album, which Sepultura did with Roots,
yeah.
which is why I really like it. And not only that, they took it even a step further and worked with, I don't know if I'm saying it right, pronouncing it right, but the Zavante tribe, a native tribe down in Brazil. So kind of like, you know, how we have quote-unquote Native Americans in the United States. Well, there's the same kind of thing going down there. There's still tribal peoples living around in the rainforest areas and whatnot, a lot of tribal stuff. And so that was the other reason that I really liked that one.
I think drums always shine, though, in Sepultura because, I mean, Max is, for those that may not know who are watching this, Igor, who is, I believe, maybe out of Sepultura now, but Igor, who stayed in Sepultura, was the drummer of Sepultura, was Max's brother. So I think Max knew his brother's skills. So drumming was always, if you listen to the early Sepultura stuff, the drumming is very in the forefront because Igor has a very distinct style of drumming. And when you listen to those Cavalier Conspiracy albums with the two brothers working together again, you could tell it's his drum. He's one of the few drummers you hear him, you know it's him.
Yeah, that is a good point. Igor, you know, he's a very creative person, you know, and so that showed off a lot in his drumming back in Sepultura. And now he's got, like, I don't know, 3 or 4 other bands that he's doing stuff with now.
And him and his brother did the you have a shirt of it, the Roots, the reunion where they toured together, playing together. It wasn't like a certain band, was it? It was just, they were just playing Sepultura stuff, I believe.
Beneath the Remains, Arise, and what's the other one? Beneath the Remains.
Chaos 80?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think that was, no, it was Beneath.
Beneath the Remains, Arise, and then there's Chaos 80, and then there's Roots.
Oh, yeah, so it's Beneath the Remains and Arise, and then Chaos AD were the albums that they toured on last year. So, so anyway, if you're a Sepultura fan, you may know this already. If you're not, you may not. But Sepultura means grave in Portuguese. And Sepultura formed in 84, as we said, by Max and Igor. Arise came out in 91, Chaos AD in 93, Roots in 96, and on the Roots record, I really like Roots and Ratamahata. Those are my favorite songs. Max departed at the end of 1996, so it wasn't long after Roots came out. I think they played in Omaha. When that album came out, they opened up for Ozzy Osbourne. I guess, I don't know if would that have been at the Civic or the CenturyLink? When was the CenturyLink built?
What year are we talking?
96. Seems like that would have been at the Civic Auditorium still, because it was Ozzy's.
Was the Quest Center even built in 1996?
Yeah, I don't know.
Because I remember it being new when I was a little older. So Civic was the big one at the time. A lot of people played there in Omaha, Nebraska. It got torn down.
I think it was Ozzy, Sepultura, and maybe I can't remember. Ozzy, yeah, but I thought that was pretty wild. I missed that show, and I don't remember why it was so long ago. But that was like the only chance I ever had to see Max with Sepultura.
made up for it. We saw Soulfly recently, and it was a badass show.
Yeah,
Let's throw that out there.
That kind of makes up for it. Anyway, Max left at the end of '96. One interesting thing about that is that Sepultura actually auditioned Chuck Billy from Testament and Phil Demmel of Machine Head, a couple other popular metal bands, for the singer position before they decided on Derek Green from Cleveland. And their first album that they came out with after Max was Against in 1998. So Soulfly, again, going back in the timeline, the year formed in 1996-97. Their first album was just called Soulfly. It was a pretty groundbreaking album. The single from it was Eye for an Eye. They also had a bunch of special guests on there, like Fred Durst on Bleed, and I think a couple of the guys from Fear Factory were on there too. I really liked Umba Baruma, which is a Jorge Ben cover. Jorge Ben is a Brazilian artist, and the song's about football, which in Brazil means soccer, basically.
Is the first album also the one Corey Taylor is on that? Or no, that must be later. Never mind. Because I know Corey Taylor was on a song too later on, I believe. But yeah, that would have been 96, so no, that Slipknot wasn't even a thing at the time. So
Corey was on... it was on the Primitive album, and I can't remember what the song was called of Soulflies, but yeah, he was on there. So anyway, we got some box sets here. Let's get to the box sets.
You blew my mind with the my favorite thrash metal band is Testament. To anyone watching, Chuck Billy auditioned. I had no idea that.
Yeah, I didn't either.
That actually blows my mind. I'm like, what? That would be fucking awesome.
Yeah, that would be pretty wild. That would be pretty wild.
Plus, he's native too. That would be really cool, actually.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be really cool. I just found that out, like I said. So
it would fit their aesthetic.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, what are we showing first?
So the first
your
one,
stuff. I don't have anything to show this time, guys.
First one's the green one. So that is the Soulfly Soul Remains Insane box set.
Yeah, you can turn the switch to the other camera.
Go that way. No. Oh crap! Yeah, you're right.
I said yeah. He's just switching to the other camera right now. There you go. Yeah. This is a cool box. I feel like I haven't seen this in stores because I
move it back just a little bit.
Probably would have.
Yeah, there's your focal point right there.
Probably would have picked it up. To be honest.
Well, I think they're still out there, man.
Grab it off Amazon. You know, my car won't play CDs, but that's for another time.
Why did the doctor prescribe beer to cure so many patients?
I don't know, Sid. Why did he?
Because it's good for what ails you. Get it?
Alright, so we're showing the Soulfly box set. Am I opening this up too?
Yeah, so...
Oh, that's cool.
So now...
Gotta be careful here. I don't want to...
This came out in June of last year, and this is a box set where they compiled the first 4 albums and then threw in a 5th disc with some bonus material, live stuff, and a couple of unreleased songs.
See if I can find a good picture of.
There's a vinyl version of this 5 LP. There's also this 5 CD one, or actually the vinyl is 8 LPs. Sorry.
I can't see it very well. That's Max right there. He's
you need to.
The
there
main.
you go. There's your focal point, like right at the edge of this box here. So.
Yeah, the main dude. That's Max. Has Soulfly changed members? I don't know a ton about Soulfly.
Oh yeah.
They changed members throughout the years.
They've changed members quite a bit, so much so
Okay.
that I lost track of it all. In fact, they just got a new guitarist. Mark Rizzo left.
Better picture of Max right there, actually. Hold this fist up there.
So anyway, this contains debut album Soulfly, second album Primitive, third album 3, fourth album Prophecy, and then the Soulflyer bonus disc, which includes, among the rare stuff, the World Cup mix of Uma Bada Uma. So again, that's a soccer song. World Cup is soccer, and that's the World Cup mix. But I really like that one off of that album.
Pull one of these out there.
Your focal points right here. So yeah, there you go.
There we go. Sorry about that, guys. I'm still learning. I don't
we.
Still in this stuff there. Here's the back.
Yeah.
Let me pull out all these. I kind of showed the back. They can see the album covers. Prophecy is the first one I ever heard on Headbangers Ball. I believe it was 2004 when I first started watching Headbangers Ball and getting into more heavier metal. I heard Prophecy. I was like, what? This is before I heard Sepultura. I was like, what is this? Like, it sounds literally like nothing else. Which is kind of the one thing you can say about some of Max's projects.
Yeah, I'm gonna look that up. Hold on here. Give me while Jake's showing that off. I'm gonna look something up. That one.
Always a very tribal, almost. What would you call this? Kind of artwork. It's a very. I don't want to keep saying tribal.
Well.
Yeah, that kind of fits it though, I guess. But
That's what it is, I guess. Yeah. Oh, Jump the Fuck Up. That is the Corey Taylor song from Primitive.
There you go. That's it. That's the one I was thinking of. So that should be. Oh yes. A very. Oh yes, from 2000 because it is spelled Jump DA Fuck Up. You don't see that nowadays. So 2000s it hurts. I think Sid just grew Jinko jeans actually.
Hey,
By me saying that.
You know, I have a box of those if you want to check them out someday. I'm not kidding either.
Hot Topic trip pants too.
They're in Haley's basement. Footy Ball! That is from the Oomba Bada Oomba song. And yeah, the World Cup mix is great. Might be on YouTube, I don't know. Anyway, so yeah, if you are interested in that one, that the Soul Remains the Same one, the one I just showed off, I don't think that's limited edition. I think that one you can get. But these other two I think are limited edition type stuff. So we will move on to the next one.
We got two. What's the next one I'm showing?
The next one is the Roots vinyl. So if you are looking at the images on the screen here, on the bottom, the leftmost one is the original Roots album, and then
Pulling this one out.
this was last year. They put out
This
a
one?
vinyl box for Roots. This is celebrating the 25th anniversary.
It's all I can really show. There's no back artwork or anything in this. Sid still has it wrapped. So
Yeah, that's sealed for a certain reason, and I am not going to open it up. Which I suppose is a little lame if you're a viewer out there in viewing land, but it's basically the colored vinyl version, and it's got.
live at Ozfest, which is pretty sick.
So yeah, so it's got one album's the Roots, the next one is got bonus demo versions and alternate rough mixes of the songs, and then the third vinyl in there is a previously unreleased live at Ozfest, Phoenix, Arizona, 1986 exclusive recording of the show. It's got a custom spot varnished hard box with 3 gatefold tip-on jackets and new custom artwork, as you saw on the outside of the box anyway. It's also got an embroidered patch and a fold-out poster. And like I said, this is limited edition. These are one-time pressings, so once these are gone, they're gone. We talked about Roots quite a bit, so not much more needs to be said there at this point. I'm gonna take a drink here for a second because my mouth's getting a little dry. What's the favorite dance of beer lovers?
I don't know, Sid.
The can.
All right, get your drink.
Hey, what's the difference between a 35-cent beer and a 50-cent beer? 15 cents.
15 cents. Good job, Sid. Well, since getting a drink, I'll try to figure out how to do that math. Because I'm not good at math. I was like, I probably could have knew what the answer was coming for the joke if I knew how to do math at all.
Yeah, so...
Okay, so now this big one, right?
Yeah, I need to look something up here real quick, though. No, that's not a very good one.
Oh, so you just checked whatever one in the book then?
Yeah. What did the minister say when the beer got married?
This ought to be good. What did he say, Sid?
Dearly beloved, we are gathered here today. Okay, one more.
That's actually how my dad got married.
If you throw a brewery worker into a huge vat of beer, what will he become?
I don't know, Sid.
Wet.
And drunk.
And drunk, yes, and drunk, for sure. All right, so we got one other thing here to show off, and this is really cool. This special little box here.
I'm gonna try to push. Is this
Yeah,
alright? Yeah,
what
because
I
we're
would
just
do is just
opening it
sorta-
up, right?
Actually, you know what? Lift it up this way so you can show off this part.
Alright, hang on here.
No,
Let
wait.
me lock it. I don't want to.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
When you see what stuff is in here, you will understand why I don't want to just.
All right, so how cool is that? This is a promo item that was given out to people in the music industry when the Roots album was released back in, what did we say, 96?
96 is when he left. Is that when the album came out too? I'm a fan of Sepultura. I'm not completely up on their full history here, so.
96.
Alright, so he left, like, basically, he must have left right after, not long after it came out anyways.
Yeah, I think it was like in December, so maybe 9 months. But this is, anyway, so this is, you can go ahead and pop the latch there.
Latch, I cannot see what I'm doing, so. bear
This
with me
thing,
here.
this thing is such a limited edition
Ooh,
that
Lord.
it's never even been for sale. Like I said, it was made as a promo item given out to industry people, and nowadays you can find these on eBay. This is where I first actually heard about it. So what Jake's holding there is that's tracing paper. It's a picture, specially printed on there. That it's like an inlay for the box. That is also part of the Roots album cover.
I'm afraid to touch any of this, by the way. I
You
don't
touch
want to. I don't want to. Because there are glass jars of. I think Max gave you drugs or something. I don't know what this.
Yeah, why don't you just set those out on the...
I'm kidding. For the YouTube algorithms. I'm joking for the monetizers
Let's
out there.
get this back just like a ½ inch, and then set those right on the table in front of the box there. Because what I'm going to do...
Algorithms. Yeah, I meant YouTube. The monetizers out there. Well, that's not coming out, Sid. I don't want to force it there. It's
Well, shit howdy, man.
See, I told him, I'm like, I'm not messing with your stuff, man. I'm not,
Drew.
how rare it is. This is
It's Juru Biba. I'm going to look that up.
Urucum. I'm not making that up. Urucum. See that? There's your. Yeah. I have no idea what this stuff is. Max went all out. Good for you, Max. Good. We're taking marketing classes. We know that this is the kind of thing you gotta do.
These are Brazilian herbs and spices,
Okay.
and this one, the Juru Biba, is from a tree that has curative properties against anemia and liver and digestive problems. So
Took this stuff before. You didn't tell me you had this. That's why I got pneumonia.
I think, yeah, next time that happens, we'll pop some of this out. It's, gosh, we said Roots came out 26, 27 years old, so I'm not even sure how well these are sealed. For all I know, this may have been getting out into the air for the last 15 years or so that I've had it. This one.
Oh, maybe this.
This one is Eurocum, and let's see what that is.
Especially Max doesn't know his stuff, man. This is really interesting, actually. See, what other metal band would you get stuff like this?
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, you'd get like a poster and a T-shirt, maybe.
This one kind of looks like this one is a shrub that grows in the tropical regions of America and has a fruit on it. It is a shrub, and the benefits are what? Here, let's see. The benefits are stimulates melanin production and prepares the skin for tanning. So there you go. And then the final one is Aruera.
I wasn't going to
looks like
attempt
chili
to
powder,
pronounce
though.
that, so...
It looks like chili powder. Let's see.
Probably hot knowing Brazil. I think they like their spicy food down there.
Brazilian resin-yielding timber trees. And also, I think this one might have some, yeah, pepper tree, Brazilian pepper tree. That's why it looks like chili pepper.
Oh, okay. There you go. This is cool. This caught my eye. This is a booklet, and it looks like that it has explanations of what like the songs are. So it's like,
Oh wow, yeah, it does.
in some ways, the sequel to Chaos ADs, and I can't pronounce that word, so I won't try. But yeah, that's pretty cool. I always like when there's song descriptions in. There's a biography of Sepultura, kind of like what you had in your Skinnerd book for your green Skinnerd box set.
Yeah.
I watched the other streams, you know. I've seen them.
Oh, we gotta.
This one we
where's
gotta
the-
pull out here. I'm not sure what. This is a flask. No, this is film. I don't know what it is. Directed by Thomas Mignon.
That's just a video.
Oh, it's a
I think that's-
VHS tape.
It's a
Okay.
Roots video, ain't it?
Oh, it is. Yep, says it on the side because I'm an idiot. But that's cool though. They kind of put that out and to promote themselves. And here's your bowl. Not sure what is this. Is there some
It's a
special?
mortar. I thought there's supposed to be a pestle in there, but I don't see one.
I explained.
Maybe it
Did you
didn't
know
come
what that
from-
is? Don't make me seem like the idiot. You gotta explain what that is.
Mortar and pestle. That's what you mix your herbs up in with.
Gotcha. Okay.
What else we got? This is a dried fruit, but I don't know what kind of fruit it is. So this being a limited edition promo thing, there really isn't a whole lot of information about it on the internet.
You got this
Yeah, show
necklace,
that
I'm
off.
guessing?
Here, I'll hold it up for you.
I was gonna say, yeah, you have to. I only got one hand here.
So it comes with this tribal necklace, and then the final album, or the final item rather, a couple of candles for your altar, whatever you're doing with your altar. So presumably that's what you're doing with all this stuff. So
And I was gonna pull out the CD, but I'm having trouble, and you can see it's kind of.
here, I'll fix that.
They wanted people to listen to the CD, but not get to it. The hardest thing to pull out was the most basic part of the whole thing. This is the actual Roots cover there. Sorry about the glare. And you see the back. This is the kind of stuff he incorporates. Some tribesmen there on the back. I don't want to. I think I'm saying that correctly. That's what they're called in their culture.
Savante.
Okay, there. Sid knows.
So, like I said, these are pretty rare. There's actually, just coincidentally, and I think I see, maybe like one a year go up on eBay. It just so happens that there's one out there right now. Let's see if I can get that to come up.
Yeah, I had no idea about this. This is really cool. And yeah, I mean, like I said, it never came up for sale, so how would anyone?
There it is. So, you know what? I could also put the link
What prices are?
in eBay. So the bidding's up to $310.
Ooh!
I'm gonna.
Am I allowed to ask what you paid for it? Is it more, let's say more or less.
Probably
Okay,
about
never
that,
mind.
but this is like 15 years ago, maybe. So I've had
Okay.
one for a while. It's back when I had a job.
We're broke college students. What can we say?
Let me see if I can find the link.
I'm trying not to ruin his property here. Also try not to get a sliver. There we go. Back on. Let's see, man. Max went all out on this one.
Why is that camera?
So this was some interesting stuff you've picked up over your life, I tell you.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it. I don't know why. Seems like that camera's having problems, but whatever.
That's cool. We're done showing so you can turn it to the other.
How do you prepare a beer sundae?
I don't know.
Start getting it ready on Friday and Saturday.
I mean, that's pretty much how you do these streams.
Yeah. Yeah, you can tell by the fact that we were 20 minutes late today. Why did the beer bottle refuse to serve in the Army?
I don't know.
Because it wasn't draft beer.
You know, they could have said something like, because it wasn't drafted. I wrote a better joke. They can pay me.
Anna said she thinks that was less than she thought it would be on the thing. Well, we'll see how much that one on YouTube gets up to. It's already up to 310. I don't know. I think maybe it'll get up to about $400 or $500. This far down the line, anyway.
Oh, that's steep, man. But that's cool, though. You know, if you're a big fan and you want all this kind of extra stuff, I guess you got the money. I guess it's worth it.
Hell yeah. So my internet's slow. I'm trying to get the link for the eBay here, but
I apologize to anyone who I'm not saying anything back to if you're commenting. I can't see these comments. My eyes are bad. So that's Sid's territory. Bill better be watching. I'll tell you that.
I don't know if he is or not. But I think my computer's crap.
Gives us all this grief, you know. Well, you got a lot of tabs open. I mean, you probably should just maybe close a few there.
Did it work? Oh, that's because it's too long.
That's a paragraph of a link there, Sid.
Yeah, I know. That was there, that'll work. All right, we got the link out there. It says YouTube is not receiving enough video to maintain smooth streaming. As such, viewers will experience buffering. So that's the first time that's happened since I've been streaming here, that I've seen that message. So I don't know why that is, but I'm going to switch back to the other camera because I think that might have something to do with it.
Okay, I'm looking at the right camera this time. Sid's gonna pull out another joke for you guys. Try to hold your stomachs there.
How do you say beer in Russian?
I don't know.
Beer in Russian. All right, so
I think I got it. I think I figured that one out.
Haley said her credit card's itching to buy that box set, but she's holding back. Yeah. Well, I couldn't hold back. I got one. That was way back in the day when I had a job, though. I don't have one now, so I feel you on that.
I was gonna say her credit card's itching to buy something. Anytime I go to buy something, my credit card kicks my ass. So.
All right, so I think that we have one feature left here. This is the Radio Nerd mini feature, and this is where I do a little radio thing. So why I call it the Radio Nerd mini feature. Why the Radio Nerd? I've been Radio Nerd since I was a kid. Been into radio history, facts, all kinds of different shows, collected radio shows, and radio shows were first distributed on vinyl, and then they later were distributed on CD. There was some reel-to-reel there for about a year in between. Now they're sent out digitally, so it's really hard to collect them, but I have a bunch of ones on vinyl and CD. This particular one I'm going to play a clip from. Last year when Soulfly's Totem album came out, Max got onto Liquid Metal on Sirius XM and did a Max takeover where he played a bunch of his favorite songs. And if you look in the upper right corner on the screen there's the screenshot from that. I was able to rip the stream on that, and I've got a little clip from that. I want to play from the show. This is from the intro to the show where Max was talking with Jose Mangan about Dino Cazares from Fear Factory playing on the album and filling in on guitar for a while on some of their live shows, which I thought was really cool. So
Fear Factory, another band that is just does their own thing and sound like nobody else, so it actually makes perfect sense that that they're friends. Great band.
Honestly, these jokes are killing her, so somebody else besides me thinks they're funny. All right, so here's the audio from the radio show here. It's about a minute long, so here we go.
You've been doing Soulfly tours. You just finished a second one up with our other hermano, el mexicano, Dino Cáceres, and Max Cavalera on one stage together, man. People must have been freaking out, Max, when Dino was on that Soulfly tours with you.
Yeah, I mean, that's the Brazilian-Mexican connection that nobody can break up. That's like, we bring all the forces of Brazil and Mexico together. No, Dino is a badass. He's a veteran. He's a brother. I know him for so many years, and when I needed somebody to step in on that situation for the first Soulfly tour, he came in with all that, man, all that knowledge and that crunchy sound and the attitude of let's have a good time, man. This is what we do. Metal is our life. And, it was so cool. It was refreshing getting somebody like that in the group with that kind of mentality and attitude.
All right, so there's your little clip from the Max takeover Sirius XM last year. So I thought that was pretty cool.
I think that was pretty awesome, man. He's so enthusiastic about metal. I mean, he's become like, these guys like him, Phil Anselmo. I mean, they're we call it statesmen for metal. Like, they stand up for it, they represent it.
I think it's funny you say that because I think, in fact, I think it's in that interview on that somewhere in that session that Jose actually calls Max would you say the statesman?
Yeah, so I couldn't think of another word, but yeah, it's like because they're there's a lot of guys in metal that are like they're spokespeople for metal, You know, they're up on. They listen to like the newest bands. They always try to. I mean, Max always. I mean, look at the bands that we saw them with. I mean, he always tries to bring underground bands out with him to get those bands more attention.
Yeah.
And I think that that's really cool.
What does a hardworking beer fear most?
I want to point out that, and Anna didn't say these jokes were funny. She said they're killing her.
Oh, well, yeah, I guess that could be different things. I don't know.
Now go on with your. What is it?
What does a hardworking beer fear most?
I don't know.
Getting canned.
This is the Midwest. We drink beer out of a can, okay? We don't pour it and make sure it has the best head or anything. We don't care about any of that. Crack open an old Milwaukee and suck it down.
So anyway, all right, that's the Radio Nerd mini feature. If anybody's interested in hearing the whole thing, get at me. I have a recording of it, and also that is probably it for the show today. So we'll go ahead and wrap up here. Where's my...
I don't know what you're looking for.
Oh, I found it. So, next time. Well, let's talk about next time. First of all, I want to apologize for the buffering. Had I had any idea that the video would have been buffering today, I would have rebooted the router modem beforehand, because we do have internet problems from time to time here, but I didn't think about that, so I'm going to add that to my list of preparation things.
Looked like YouTube itself was having a bit of issues, so...
Yeah. Anyway, I'm going to put a couple links in the chat here. This is actually, so for my streaming class, I just had a D5 stream, so this is going to be the last one for a little bit. I'll probably start these up again in the summer. I've got to get a podcast going first. My new podcast is going to be at this link here in case anybody's interested.
Still the Radio Nerd podcast?
This is a different one.
This is a different one?
It's called the Third Eye Heavy Podcast. It'll include music interviews, music news, and stuff like that. And then the Radio Nerd one, I should put that up there too.
He really does know his stuff about, radio history. You even go into like the nitty gritty of the, I call it the diagnostics of radio or what. But you go all out into some real detailed information.
Yeah, it's like I said, it's just very interesting to me. Those links, I'm working on getting domain names for these, but in the meantime, those are where they're hosted at. So anyway, the Third Eye Heavy one is going to should hopefully have episode 1 out next week. And then during the summer, I'll start up the Radio Nerd Season 2, and also probably do some more of these Third Eye Heavy Collector's Corners on YouTube. I'm going to spend some time working out the kinks and getting equipment, and maybe doing some practice, and maybe even trying to find a better spot for them. But so those are my podcasts. I will put my portfolio link in the thing. Jake, do you have a link you want to put? You want to put your portfolio up there?
No.
No?
I'm good.
Are you sure?
They can see me on here.
Alrighty, there is the portfolio, and like I said, hopefully we're going to be doing some more of these during the summer, so this will be it for a little while. Thanks everybody for tuning in. If you have any comments or anything like that, there's contact information at my portfolio website. Send me an email, whatever, and I'll get back to you and we'll work it out. And in the meantime, thanks everybody for anybody who's ever watched any of the previous streams or watching today. I certainly do appreciate it. It's been fun, a learning experience, and Jake and I will be back soon. So,
thanks for watching. And again, thanks for. Looks like I'm going to be a permanent staple, at least depending on what you're covering. But again, thanks for having me on, and thanks to everyone who is watching. Because if it wasn't for you guys commenting and watching, then we would just be talking to Sid's laptop, and well, that would be weird. So,
yeah, thanks everybody. Thanks for the compliment, Eric. And I don't know, maybe. Okay, so this will be season 1. Maybe for season 2, first episode, we'll do ska. How about that? Like but you'll have to suggest a ska band because I don't know who. I'm not. We'll ask Bill for recommendations on who to do the season 2, episode 1 for ska.
Bill will be more than willing to be on the ska show with you.
That'd be crazy. Me and you and Bill on a show together.
Everybody's like, "Who is Bill?" Like everyone's sitting there with the mysterious Bill that we talk about. He's the Wilson of this show. I hope people saw Home Improvement and get that joke. I guess he'd be the Vera, like Norm's wife, because you don't ever see her at all.
Yeah, Bill's our media studies teacher, so and he likes ska music. I think it's all right. And then Jake's not sure about it.
We may have butted heads in class a few times about it.
All right, folks. And again, thanks for watching. Click the links if you got any suggestions or need more information about anything. Let me know. And otherwise, we'll see you soon.
Thank you very much. Thanks for watching.
All right. See you guys.